I'm here with Troy Blotsom, inspector and owner of Home Inspections Plus. He's been inspecting homes here in Alaska for nearly 20 years now. And Troy, when we think home inspection, we usually think about having one done before we're going to buy a home, but might it be in a seller's best interest to have a home inspection done before they put their house up for sale?
Oh, I think so, absolutely, because it gives the seller the opportunity to have a list of defects or potential concerns that they can address and correct in their time frame rather than in a rush of a sale of a transaction. And costs with that can go up.
All right, Troy, what are some of the more important places in the home that we're going to go visit, and what will we be looking for when we get there?
Well, I'd like to head to the bedrooms first maybe and have a look at smoke detectors and egress, make sure we have two means of escape in there and they're properly sized. I want to check out the electrical system, so we'll check the outlets here in the kitchen, as well as look at the breaker panel down in the garage. While we're down there, I'd like to look at the furnace and the water heater, make sure that they're functioning properly. And if we see something that's awry or not safe, then we want to certainly call in a specialist, a heating contractor, electrician, plumber, whatever it takes to solve those issues.
All right, let's get going.
Smoke detectors are life-saving devices, obviously. And the current standards require us to have a smoke detector in every bedroom, as well as one out there in the hallway. And the new buildings, they're building powered, they're battery backup, and they're interconnected. So that if one goes off, everything goes off. Nobody should sleep through a fire, is the way I look at it. Now, other things in a bedroom that we need is we need to make sure we have proper egress. And egress means escape. So in a bedroom, you have to have two. One is the door you came in at, and the other one's a window to the outside. And the window needs to be a specific size and shape and a maximum height off the floor. We want to make sure the kids and maybe grandma can get out, because if it's really high, kids have trouble.
All right, so in the bedroom, the key points, we've got the detector, the smoke detector,
Egress.
and the egress.
Yep.
And we're all good in here then.
Yes, we are. In this house, absolutely. When I plug my tester in, I should always get two orange lights. That tells me it's wired correctly.
Okay.
Any other combination of lights tells me different things, all of them wrong. Now, in a kitchen, we have to have GFCI protection. That's a ground fault circuit interrupter.
Why do we test this?
Well, because we don't want people to get electrocuted. You know, if you're standing here with your hand in the sink, you certainly don't want power to be available so that you could. And so when we press our test button, the power trips, and it can trip elsewhere, which is fine. As long as they're all protected, it doesn't matter where.
All right, so three things that you'd be looking for here, or the three most important.
One, we want to make sure that the wires are properly sized for bringing the power in, that they're not too small. Too big is fine. We want to make sure that the breakers are properly sized for the loads. So here's the range, and it's a 50 amp, that's great. The dryer there. And then we want to make sure that we have arc fault protection when that's required. Any house built after 2001 is supposed to have at least some arc fault protection.
All right, in simplest terms, what is arc fault protection?
Arc fault protection is a means of protecting the building from an arcing event with the electrical system and then stopping a fire before it ever has a chance to get started.
Okay.
So some of the top things that I would look for is to make sure that the components operate freely, that we're going to check the air filters to make sure that they're clean. The safety devices here, the door operating switch, and if I put this in the closed position, there's going to be a little idiot light that comes on, which is great. Mm-hmm. We know that it's going to function. And the other thing is we're going to check the flame, the way it burns. If it burns nice and blue, it's going to be proper combustion. If it's yellow, that tells us that there can be a cracked heat exchanger. And at that point, you're putting the products of combustion, the furnace is creating, possibly into the house air, and that creates a CO risk.
All right, some great insight into what goes into a home inspection, should you consider getting one before you sell your house. Troy, thanks so much for your help.
Absolutely. Thank you. My pleasure.